Is dog culture driven by capitalism and by profit, or is there something else going on? On the surface, it's pretty easy to recognize. Americans spend a whole lot of money on their pets. So you might think, well, you see, profit. That's the only reason people are selling dogs and dog products. Or you might blame capitalism. However, that's a very shallow analysis of the situation. If dogs were actually so profitable, how come other countries don't have the ridiculous amount of dogs and dog expenditures? Step back and look at this big picture. Look at the USA. Look at what we're doing with dogs. We're actually using dogs to create influence. We're using dogs to collect data, to data mine our citizens. And even if you lose money doing this, these companies will continue to sell pet products to people to get their information, to understand what they're all about, because then they can take money from them in a different way. And I will explain to you a little bit about how that works. So we're over on a website that I've shared with you guys before, and we're looking at tax exempt organizations, and we've used the keyword search Purina. Purina is a dog food company, but they also have these tax exempt organizations. So do you think that if Purina doesn't make a profit, or they have some other financial thing that they need to reconcile, that they could fall back on one of these companies where they can take donations without claiming them, without paying taxes on them, where they can spend money and then say that they were using it for dog related things? Yes, they can do stuff like that. So they don't necessarily need to make a profit off selling their stuff. What they can do, though, is everybody that has bought pet food from them, they now have all of those people's information. So they can email them, text them, they can send them little receipts and say, hey, we know that you love your pupper. Would you like to donate some money to one of our Purina puppy saving organizations? And they know that the dog owners will, of course, say yes. And so that's part of what these dog product companies do. It's not necessarily all about profit. It's about gaining control over a population of people that literally worship their dogs. Here is a Purina website thing, and as you can see, they participate in these types of things. Standing tall during the pandemic. So they have become a charitable organization where they can donate the money. Notice, nonprofit partners. They are connected to these tax shelter organizations. So they can sit there and take all types of donations from dog owners, and many of those donations they do not have to claim as income. And I know that the 501c3 topic is way deeper than I'm talking to you about now, but I'm just showing you this so you can look it up and kind of decide for yourself. Notice Purina, part of what they do is they're going to use the money they make selling dog food to fix racial equity. And that's going to be a tax shelter thing that they can do. They can use taxpayer money and they can use government programs to help them do all this. It's called Compassion in Animals of Reform and Equity. So these are nonprofit organizations that can take in tons of money from people all over the place. And part of the way that they collect the people that are going to donate the money is they look at all the people that bought dog food or other dog related products, people that are willing to just crack their banks open and literally go broke on their dogs. They can also rely on those people to dump money into these type of programs. So if they're not making a profit or they're having some problems, well, they can just fall back on all of those dog product buying people that they have all the information and data and analog and digital information on. So a company that uses dogs to promote its products is Bissell. Have you ever watched a Bissell advertisement? Much of it is people needing this super duper vacuum to clean up after their dogs. Well, Bissell loses money. They had to replace all these vacuums that started on fire or may have started on fire. They may have started on fire from sucking up too much dog hair. But I'm just showing you this because they do lose money. They do run into problems. And if they are also connected to one of these dog charities, well, they can use that as a way to reconcile. And here we go. We're over at a Bissell website. This is all about taking in money and donations for dogs. Let me just scroll down. I'll let you look at the website on your own time. But they are a 501c3 organization. So, do you think if they can figure out a way to reconcile all those vacuums that started on fire through the financial connections and the donations that they get? What do you guys think? Do you think that they have creative financial ways to do that? What if they're not making a profit on vacuums? Can they go rely on donations from one of these companies? Let me offer you a potential example of how something like this might work. Let's say you wanted to sell dog leashes. So you buy all the stuff to do it. You got a sewing machine. You got an embroiderer to put the dog's name on the collar, because dog owners would love that. And then you start selling these like crazy, but your profits aren't really that great. I mean, you got a lot of customers, a lot of people spending lots of money on these dog collars and stuff. But, the cost of electricity and everything else, it's not that profitable for you. Well, you could just connect up with one of these tax shelter organizations. Like right now, I'm just looking at tax shelter organizations that are helping pit bulls. I just did a keyword search for pit bulls up here. Well, there you are making dog collars. You got all these customers. They're ready to go broke buying dog stuff, but you don't want to raise the price of your collars because then you'll quit selling them and you'll lose influence and pull. You could just connect to one of these organizations, or you could become a dog foster person and start claiming all of the stuff that you use to make dog collars. You could start claiming that as a tax exemption. So now you have all of these customers that have bought dog collars from you, and now you can start claiming your thread, your webbing, some of your electric bill, because you can say that these collars that you sell, 10% of them go to some kind of rescue foundation, like these ones that I'm talking to you about, or these ones that I'm showing you right now on the screen. This is just a keyword search for dogs in the tax exempt organization. This search result yielded 2,288. So you could become one of these organizations. You could invest in one of these organizations, and you could really, really easily offset your profit loss, bring in a bunch of income, and at the same time create a gigantic database of people that are willing to line up to donate to you. All of these places take in hundreds and thousands, if not millions of dollars of donations. And the reason that they're able to do that is because they look out in society and they see that there is a profit, there is a huge expenditure, but they connect themselves to those companies that are supposed to make profit. And then they use all of that data to ask for donations. If you look at some of these, you can go click in here and look at the financial information. Some of these numbers will really surprise you. They get a ton and a ton of money. So dog culture is not purely profit driven. It's not purely capitalist. A big reason that these companies create all of these products is just to get people lined up to give donations. There is a gigantic infrastructure. This is what I kind of want people to try to look at. There is a gigantic infrastructure with all these organizations where it doesn't really necessarily matter if we're making profit off dog culture. All these organizations are lined up. They have all of the people's data, email, and all their data lined up, where they just take money from you so that you can sit there and rescue a dog. the infrastructure is set up to take money from us kind of covertly for all of these dog related places. There's hundreds and thousands of these types of places. So yeah, we have an infrastructure that is set up to tax the citizens, make them pay for everyone else's dog. It's not just all of these organizations. It's also like your city when there's a cliff rescue. It costs $40,000 to rescue a dog off a cliff. 10-hour rescue costs about $40,000. The taxpayers pay for that. When someone calls up and a pit bull killed somebody, or a German shepherd attacked a little dog, that's taxpayer money to dispatch all those police. So we have a gigantic infrastructure working 24/7 to take money away from us, even if we're not actually buying dog products. But remember, so many of those dog product companies are connected to companies like this. They share financial information, they share money, they share bank accounts. So even if they're not making a profit, the influence that they have that keeps these things running, they want that influence. So if they're not making profit off of selling dog products, they're not, that's not going to be a big thing. They're willing to take a loss to get all of the influence that allows them to take money for these corporations. Look at all these tax shelter corporations. So the products being sold to dog owners that are profitable, a big part of it is just to collect their information, create this infrastructure of a government and taxpayer funded system that can suck money from us 24/7. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. See you later.